Okay, and let me share my screen, everyone. Let me know when you see my screen. Okay, do you see my screen, everyone? Perfect. So because I I only have 3 slides for you today, and these 3 slides are typically everything that you need to know in order to make a decision to change your life and to come to Canada. So it could be Canada, it could be Germany, it could be US. It doesn't matter where you go, as long as it is aligned with what you want in life and what you believe in life. So I'm going to start with a personal story of mine. Uh, I'm an immigrant like a lot of people. 15 years ago, uh, I was I was hopeless. I couldn't find any job. I was from Middle East, and although I had a bachelor degree in engineering, I was not able to find a job, and I wasn't happy, and I was depressed. So one time, I remember one of my classmates called me, and he was overseas. He was in the States. He called me, and we started talk. And he told me he is in Canada, so he was traveling in Canada. At the time, I had no idea what Canada is. Like, believe it or not, I did not know what Canada is. Like, I knew about Canada, but I did not know there is a city called Montreal. I did not know that. So he was calling me from Montreal, and then he started telling me how amazing that city is and how many students are there and what people are doing. And for a second, I thought, wow, is this possible if I go there? And he said, yeah, of course. A lot of our classmates came here. And so I started researching. So by what I say, one person, one meeting, one video, one moment can change your life. So that call, although it was like late night and I was like sleeping, and then I took the call, and he was telling me that it was the moment for me. And the reason I'm sharing this, because I know a lot of you can relate. And that is a very important thing to in life, that you always look for the next opportunity in your life. So I started researching, and I realized in order to come to Canada, back then the spectrum changed ever since. It was 15 years ago, guys. So you need to understand this. 15 years ago, the way that it used to work is different than the way it is now. It always getting harder and harder because there's always more demand want to come to Canada. So at that time, the only way, because I didn't have much money, right? The only way that I was able to come here was that to find a job in a university. So to get a job in a university and at the same time studying, I had to contact different universities and different professors in that university. So I put my working shoes on. I was determined. I started contacting every single professor at every single Canadian university. You had no idea what I did. I went through in my emails earlier to see how many emails I used to send back then. I was sending 300 emails per day. Can you believe that? 300 emails. I was going to the website of these universities. I was looking at the professors, all the department. I didn't care at the time what department I'm going to go in, because I just wanted to get some opportunity, right? So I was going to different email list of these professors, extract their email, go to Gmail, put their email in, write an email to that person, hit send. I was doing this for 2 months. After 2 months, I got about 50 replies. Like, I was sending like thousands of emails to all these people. So 50 reply came back to me. And guess what? They said, we are not interested. Right? So nobody was interested. But one person said, I'm not interested at the moment, but there might be an opportunity later. So I couldn't convince the person. I couldn't convince the person from a computer that, hey, your next opportunity is me. So I started doing another thing. I found a friend who was living in that, like a friend of a friend. And I asked him to go visit that person in person. He agreed to go on my behalf, take my resume, go to the office of that person and tell him, I know this guy, he's a good guy. So he did that for me. And then the professor agreed to talk to me online. So once she talked to me, she liked me, she got me the job at the university as an assistant, as a research assistant. So that way I came to Canada. I was getting paid to do research. I got my master's. And once I got my master's in engineering and then in MBA, I started working. And now I want to talk about my second slide, why virtual job. Because the moment I started working, guys, again, back then, when I was graduated, it's 13 years ago, right? Now, back then, the idea of a virtual job wasn't prevalent like now. Not everybody knew about virtual job, but virtual job existed and I didn't know about it. So I started working in different organizations, but one day again, one moment, I came across a person who was my previous coworker. And he told me he is now working for a company where they allow him to work from coffee shops. And I was like, how is this possible? You can work from coffee shops? He said, yeah, we don't have to go to office. We work from anywhere. And that moment, I was like, oh, this is amazing. Let me go find out. So I went to this guy. I learned about it. I invited him to restaurant, to coffee. Like I was after him. But when you like, this is a life hack. If you go after somebody, make sure to offer something first. Don't just ask. You have to offer things. You have to do things for them so they can give it back to you. So I went to this guy and I learned as much as I could. Somebody goes to the bathroom. He has his video on. We can see how you pee, guys. It's fun. Keep it that way. We like it. So anyway, longest story short, I was able to get that virtual job. I got that virtual job and nobody knew about virtual job. So I'm traveling the world, working from my computer, and people are like, how do you do this? Like, there is a WebEx. Like there was no Zoom at the time, just so you know, no Zoom. And everybody was like, how you do this? And I'm like, this is it. And then when COVID hit, everyone was like, oh, we can work from everywhere. Oh, it is possible. Like, I was telling you for 5 years. So yeah, so why virtual job is important, guys. And now you know, like you have a feeling. If I remember I had the same webinar before COVID, and I was telling people, hey, you can do virtual jobs. And people are like, I don't know, it's hard, maybe some people can do it. But now I'm saying, go to virtual jobs. They're like, yeah, it's possible. 10% of my organization doing virtual, right? So virtual job is the next big thing in the world. Why it's important? They pay you more money. Like any virtual job pay you more money than the job that you need to go to the physical place. Why? Because it's based on a computer. It's based on IT and tech. If it's in IT and tech, not a lot of people understand it. And if not a lot of people understand it, your value goes up, you can charge more, right? Very important to understand. When your value go up, you can charge more and you can get paid more. So a lot of virtual jobs pay you more than physical jobs. The second thing, if you go with the physical jobs, it's demanding. You can do it for certain years. You can do it up to your 50th, 60th birthday. But after that, it's hard. But with virtual jobs, you don't have any problem. You can work from anywhere. And you can also, most important, you can be flexible. Because in most of virtual jobs, it's project-based. They give you a deadline. They say, hey, you need to finish this by this date. So it's up to you if you want to work at night or if you want to work at day or if you want to work midday. Like it's totally up to you. Versus a physical job, you have to be there at 9 a.m. or 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. and then you have to leave at 5 p.m., which is crazy. Like I cannot even think about it anymore, right? Who's gonna do a job like 9 to 5? Like it's crazy. So that is why virtual job is important. And regardless of you going to Canada, going to Australia, going anywhere in the world, if you learn how to do virtual jobs, you secure your future. And it's growing. I'm going to show you on the screen live on how this thing works on virtual jobs. And then we're going to talk about immigration plans, right? Why? Because this is, let's get to my third slide actually. This Canada Immigration Outlook, and I have another story to tell you about immigration, why I'm doing this, because I was starting to talk about Canada, and someone from government came to me and said, you cannot give advice, it's illegal, right? Because legal advice, not everyone can do. Like agencies are not allowed to give legal advice and charge for it, right? Nobody can give you legal advice. You have to go to school, you have to become regulated. So that's why I was like, okay, I want to talk to people about Canada. I want to give legal. So that you have to go to school, you have to get regulated, you get certified. So I'm doing this. I have my online job. I'm traveling the world at the same time. I'm going to school, getting my certifications in immigration consultation, and getting regulated. So after 2 years, I became regulated. So now I can give legal advice. I'm registered by government. So good. But it doesn't mean that Canada immigration outlook changes. So as I was telling you, 15 years ago was a lot different than now. So 15 years ago, Canada was accepting all sorts of students. Back then, students were on the rise. Now, they took all these students from around the world for 15 years. They're still taking it, but there's no job for them. Like they come out of school, they have paid 30,000, 40,000, they're in debt, but they don't have jobs because they don't have the skills to do the jobs. And the jobs are changing. So what happens? Canada is now refining their immigration plans. They want to bring people to work. They want to bring people who can do work. That's why there is a big emphasis on IT jobs, on technology-related jobs. That's why Canada has a digital nomad program, which we're going to discuss today. Digital nomad programs, to give you some context, is not just specified to Canada. More than, I believe, 40 countries offer digital nomad programs, such as Germany, Portugal, Spain, Italy, Australia. They all have digital nomad program. And what that means is that if you have a virtual job, if you are getting paid from a computer and you can travel, you can get a visa to all these 40 countries to live there because it's good for those countries. Why it's good? Because you make money from overseas, you bring it and spend it to their communities. Also, you get a chance, like that country get a chance that you get hired by one of those companies in that country. So it's win-win, right? So that's why Canada is giving digital nomad visa for people who can work remotely and can prove it. What is the minimum income threshold for this? The minimum income threshold for Canada is not defined. We do have a minimum threshold for Spain, for example. If you want to get a visa to Spain, if you have a virtual job and you can show, hey, I'm making $3,000 per month, you get a visa to Spain. But for Canada, we don't have a set threshold. But what is important is that you need to know about cost of living in Canada. As long as you can pay for the cost of living, you get a visa. It's fine because Canada wants your money here. They want you and your money here, right? So you need to first learn how to get a virtual job. And second, start making at least $4,000 a month, because if you want to live in Canada, the cheapest you can live on is $4,000 a month. Maybe it's 3,000 in Spain, I don't know, but in Canada, you need 4,000, up to 10,000. Like bigger city, you need 10,000. If you want to have a nice life, car, house, good restaurants, like leave a standard life in Canada, 10,000. And how do you make that virtual jobs easy? You know, a lot of people on social media are teaching these things. Some of them are legit, some of them are not legit, but what it says it's possible, right? So now, as I promised, I'm going to talk a little bit about virtual jobs, because I know a lot of you guys here to learn about virtual jobs, right? How many of you doing virtual jobs already? Put in chat. So let me see in chat how many are you already doing. Like, you can see the screen as well. So Virusman says I do. Nayful, Megersa, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Okay, so you guys already doing a virtual job. That's great. So tell me how much you make. How much you make per month? 4,000. Okay. Ahmed is making 4,000. Virus very low. Somebody doing in Germany. So you're German, or what is the deal in Germany? So from Upwork, yeah, that's amazing. From Upwork, yeah, exactly. So currently I'm looking with a startup, 200 Canadian. Okay, you have to pump that up. 2,000 Canadian. That's good. 2,000, but just add a little bit to it, like work harder. 400 use. That's great, guys. Like, I'm impressed. I'm impressed that you already on the way to make this happen. So any one of you, like the person who has, probably we can interview at the end. Like, you can come unmute yourself at the end of the session. Probably the person who's making 4,000 or the one who's making 2,000. Maybe you guys can go unmute at the end of the session and talk about your story. But let me, for those of you who don't know about virtual jobs, let me, you still see my screen, right? Okay, so let me go and show you in action, because I don't like presentations. They are very boring, but I would like to do everything live, right? So now that's what we do. We're doing this live with you. You don't have this. Okay. Okay, so to talk about virtual jobs, so you need to understand what kind of virtual job exists, for those who don't know that. Okay, to learn what kind of virtual job exists, one way is that going to websites for job postings, such as Indeed. Okay, so you go to Indeed, you can put remote in the job type, right? And you can put the country, or you can search in any country. You can search in US, because as long as it's remote, that means you can get it, right? You don't need to be there in person. But what it's important at this stage is that you get a job that can pay you well, and you can use that money, right, to show it to government and say, hey, I'm making money. I want to come to Canada and spend this money in Canada. I want to rent a house in Canada. I want to spend my grocery in Canada. I want to get a car. I want to live my life in Canada while working remotely for what I do already. So that job can be from Canada. If you're already making money, good for you. But if you're not, you can start targeting Canada, because there's so many jobs in Canada. I will show you in a second. Or you can get job in US. But what is important is that the income. If you can show that you have income, and how do you show you have income? You need to have an account that receives money. So most of you are from countries that the banking system are not working as it's supposed to. So you need to get a PayPal account, because most of these transactions happen through PayPal or Stripe. If you don't know what a Stripe is, this is a Stripe. Stripe is one of the way that you can start collecting money, okay, from other people. And if you don't know about a Stripe, go to their website, read about it. It has an integration with everything, Shopify, Google, everything, right? Because you need a website. If you want to start making money, you need a website, and you can integrate that with the Stripe or PayPal, so you can receive money. But let's talk about jobs. What kind of jobs available, right? So you go there, you put remote, and then you put Canada, right? So now when we put remote, we put Canada, showing all remote in Canada. Yes, 16,000 jobs available. All right, there's 16,000 jobs right now as we speak in Canada that are hired. So if you go over them, you see social media manager, you see project coordinator, you see fraud investigator, you see English speaking search analyst, you see so many business developer, content writer. And to give you an idea, a lot of you say, oh, these are so confusing. I don't know how to go about this, right? So I'll teach you how to go about it. So let's say there is a content writer job. You click on that, you go to job description, you read about what they are expecting you to do. And what they're expecting you to do is to research article topics, write these words, must have the ability to work independently, must love researching. So if there's anything that you don't know on these key responsibilities, and this is what you need to put in your resume. A lot of people say, hey, how can I write a good resume? A good resume is what is in the job requirements. Job description gives your resume, guys. Just copy this and paste it in your resume. Say, I can do all of this, and that's it, you get the job. They are, even if they open your resume, they're looking for these key responsibilities because that's what they're looking for. So you just put all of these key responsibilities of the similar jobs in one page and put your name, and then go research one by one in YouTube, learn how to do these things that they want, get an interview, talk about what you know, what you learn, and boom, you got a job, right? And there's different levels because when you try to get a job, there is a job level, job type. See, full-time, permanent, part-time, contract, temporary. So if you're so beginner, you can go to internship or casual. If you have a little bit of knowledge, you can go to part-time or even full-time, right? Sometimes full-time jobs, they don't give you because they say, hey, we need your work permit. So we cannot give you a job full-time, but contract, you can always get a contract job, regardless of who you are, where you live. So see, contract job, there's 1,546 job available. So you do your research, you go to one of these customer service rep. This is a perfect job for a lot of. Go see job description, what you will do, responding this, monitoring this, fanning on emergency, providing. If you don't know any of these, copy these, right? Put it on Google, search, go watch videos on YouTube, learn about modeling inclusive behavior, right? You do like a study 2 hours, you learn all that. You want operating a two-way radio voice communication system, VCOM. What is that? Google it, learn about it. Now you know all about job description. Now you can, but the key is, I was telling you, I was sending 300 emails per day. That's the key. You gotta be after it. You gotta keep sending email. You gotta call them. You gotta go after it. You gotta show yourself. It's all about promoting. Promote yourself. If you cannot promote yourself, sorry. This is how life works. You have to promote yourself. If you cannot promote yourself, nobody cares. Nobody comes to you. You have to go to them. You have to go to people. Nobody's going to help you. It's you, right? Just don't sit there and wait for somebody to appear. Nobody appears. You have to go to people. You have to appear to people. So that's that. So now you know how to do that. And if you want to learn more about jobs, like a lot of you I know work on freelancers or Fiverr. So you go to find jobs by skill. You see that there is graphic design job, your website jobs, mobile application jobs, data entry jobs, SEO jobs, writing jobs. So you read, see what kind of jobs are available. Or you go to Upwork. Upwork is another good platform. See what you go on development and IT. There is thousands of job, data analytics, IT networking, e-commerce. Go learn e-commerce, guys. Shopify. Everybody in Canada and US trying to learn Shopify, trying to make a store on Shopify, right? So learn all about these, and then you can get a job in any, like if you get a job in Upwork, that's virtual because Upwork and Freelancer and all these are created based on virtual jobs. So you go there, you go to different, see which one you like. If you like sales and marketing, content marketing, digital marketing, social media. If you don't know about it, Google it, video, like watch videos. That there's tons of information on all of these topics out there. So that's that. And there is, these are the opportunities that you can go. Like, for example, recently I found this job, YouTube jobs, YT jobs. This is all the famous YouTubers. You can see how many followers they have, like 10 million, 2 million, 1 million. Like these people, YouTubers, post jobs. And most of them are video, they need video editor or thumbnail designer or script writer. So these are very good opportunity for you as well to work with like popular YouTubers and get their job and try to help them, right? So this is how you get a job. And then once you get a job, probably have a lot of questions about, okay, I don't know about contract. I don't know about how to charge them, right? So these are the things that you will investigate, and probably if I have time, I'll do more videos on this. But send your question, and I want to know where exactly you have problems. We have a group as well. You can join our group. If you go to our website, visaform.ca, if you go there, there is a section you can join here. If you click join immigration together, we have a community. If you go to our community, that's where we're going to discuss more about jobs in the coming months. So you can join there and send your question, start the process I was telling you, and boom. So next, so now you know a little bit about jobs. Once you start making money, you can show that you have a PayPal account, you can receive money, you have proof. Then it's when you go to immigration website, you can visit, you can apply to a visitor visa. Again, I need to do a full tutorial on how to do this. This is exactly what immigration agencies charge you $3,000 to $5,000 just to do this. And it's not a heavy work. I'm not here to take your money, guys. Like, I'm just here to give you some information. Immigration agencies charge $3,000, $5,000, even more to come to this website, fill out an application for you, and send it on your behalf. But you can do it yourself. I'll probably do a tutorial on this because I don't want immigration agencies to take people's money as they do right now. So if I put that tutorial out, a lot of people save $5,000, and a lot of lies they put in your application, because immigration agencies, I've seen they put lies in the application to get approval, and that lie will ban you from Canada if they figure it out. So never do that. Everything that you need to know about Canada is listed on this website, okay? Canada.ca, Canada.ca or cic.gc.ca. So these two websites are all the sources you need to learn about immigration to Canada. But in this specific webinar, we talked about how to get virtual jobs and how to use that to visit Canada. Once you visit Canada, then there are different programs and pathways to work, to get a permanent residency, to get a work permit, and all that. So thank you for joining us today. I'm gonna stop recording right now, and then if we can, we do some Q&A and questions.